Welcome to Cake Playground, where it's all about the fun. This lesson is on how to make pink Ombre Buttercream Ruffles. So what's Ombre? It's a color scheme where you go darker to lighter in the same shade of color. This lesson is on how to make ruffles using a rose tip and a leaf tip. So let's start off by mixing our Ombre color palette. It's going to be 6 different shades of pink plus our original white frosting. These are the shades of pink. You start off by mixing about 1.5 cups of white frosting with electric pink food coloring. This will make your darkest shade of the Ombre palette. To make the next lighter shade, take about 1/3 cup pink and 2/3 cup white and mix them together to make a lighter shade of pink, like this. To progress to the next lighter shade, take 1/3 cup of the lighter pink and mix it with 2/3 cup white to get the next shade of pink. You're going to continue taking the lightest shade that you have and mixing it with white until you get the next lighter shade of pink. You're going to continue until you have 6 shades of pink like this, plus some of your original white. Once you have the color mixed, you can start piping. So start off with a crumb-coated frosted cake, and we're going to start with the darkest color of pink. For the first ruffle set, we're going to be using a 104 rose tip. A 104 rose tip has a thicker end and a thinner end. In this lesson, the thicker end will be on the top, the thinner end will be on the bottom. You'll notice here as we pipe, the thick end stays about the same place. The thin end kind of rotates around to make kind of like a rose petal, only we're going to use them for ruffles. So continue around the cake with your ruffles. You really want to focus on the top and the bottom being evenly spaced. Let's move on to the next lightest shade of pink. We're still going to be using the rose tip for this next layer of ruffles. And here's a close-up showing the thick end on the top and the thin end on the bottom. And notice how the thick end stays in the same place. Squeeze, 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 and then pull back up. So you're going to continue around the cake on this level. Try to focus on ending in the same spot that you started. Now we'll move on to the next shade of pink. Doesn't this look cool with the shades of pink gradually getting lighter? You would think it'd be harder to do than it is, but it's actually pretty easy and it gives a pretty cool look to this cake. You just really want to focus on keeping the ruffles even on the top and the bottom, and you want to focus on consistency of shape with the ruffles themselves. For the next set of ruffles, we're going to be using a 67, which is a leaf tip. Notice the orientation. When we pipe, the notch of this tip is going to be oriented like this against the cake. It's going to form a ruffle and a line. When you pipe the ruffles with this tip, you want to move pretty slowly. Focus on keeping the line even, and you'll see the ruffles form as you continue to apply pressure and move relatively slowly while you pipe this ruffle. So as you continue up the cake, you're going to continue with lighter shades of pink. The last layer of ruffles will be in white. You really want to focus on this last ruffle being even with the top of the cake. So when you're done, your ruffle should look like this, a gradation of colors. And we've used 2 different types of tips that'll give you 2 different looks for your ruffles. If you want to, you can pipe on the top. So you want to focus on keeping the top and side edges together. You also want to focus on keeping your lines even around the top of the cake. So as you pipe the next layer, you want to focus on keeping the lines even, and you want to focus on the consistency and size of the piping as you go around the cake. Now you can also pipe with the rose tip like we did before, and this time I'm kind of using a little zigzag pattern to give some ruffles. It just gives a different texture to the look of the ruffles and makes it look interesting. I hope you have a lot of fun using this interesting and easy piping technique to make ruffles on your next cake. You can use it on a simple birthday cake like this, or incorporate it into a more complex design like this princess cake. Also, visit CakePlayGround.com for more videos, more lessons, product list, and articles. At Cake Playground, it's all about the fun.